guys, Yoka here from Pro League, and today we're bringing you a new Akali guide. Akali is an assassin who deals high burst mixed damage. Her passive is called Twin Discipline and is composed of two parts. The first part is called Discipline of Force. Akali's basic attack deals an additional 6% bonus magic damage, increasing by 1% for every 6 ability power, which means the more AP you have, the more magic damage will you deal with your basic attacks. The second part of the passive is called Discipline of Might. Akali gains 6% spell vamp, increasing by 1% for every 6 bonus attack damage, which means the more AD you have, the more spell vamp will you generate. This passive is one of the reasons why Akali is so strong. Having mixed damage makes it harder for the enemy team to build resistance. Akali's Q is called Mark of the Assassin and has two parts. First, Akali throws a shuriken to the target, dealing magic damage and marking it for 6 seconds. Then, the next auto attack on the target consumes the mark, dealing extra magic damage and restoring energy. As you can see, the skill scales with ability power. This sequence illustrates the first part of Mark of the Assassin, Akali's Q. Once the shuriken hits the target, you can notice the mark appearing under it. Here we can see the two parts of Mark of the Assassin. First one being tagging the target with the mark, and then triggering that mark with an auto attack for additional damage and energy refound. Akali's W is called Twilight Shroud and is probably the most important skill for Akali. Akali creates an area where she can become invisible and move faster. Attacking or using abilities will briefly, while in this area, reveal her. Enemies inside the smoke have their movement speed reduced. The area lasts for 8 seconds at all ranks, whereas the movement speed buff and debuff scale when upgrading the skill. On this first clip, we can see how Akali become invisible to the enemy, being Zed in this case. On this second one, we can see how this skill reduces the enemy movement speed. As you can see, Akali loses her stealth while attacking an enemy even though she still stands on Twilight Shroud, and this applies to all her skills and her basic attacks. Ignite, being a damaging spell, reveals her as well. Following this logic, flashing won't bring Akali out of stealth, but will give a hint to the opponent who sees the flash animation. This brings opportunities for jukes like fake flashing, basically press flash without moving. In the next two other clips, we can see two other possibilities of breaking Akali's stealth. The first being, of course, a pink ward. Pink wards are devastating for Akali and a must-have to counter her. The second one is the radar. Although it is not as efficient as a pink ward due to the impossibility to target her, it is still a valuable choice. As I said, Akali's Twilight Shroud is an interesting skill. One of its properties is revealing unwarded areas, as seen in this clip. However, the opponent can spot you for a short duration. Combining this skill with Akali's ultimate makes for a great escape or chasing combo. However, for some reason, this combo won't work for jumping over either Baron's Wall nor Dragons. Akali's E is called Crescent Slash. Akali does area of effect damage based on her attack damage and ability power as physical damage. As you can see, the skill like Akali's passive provide her with mixed damage, meaning both AP and AD, making it even harder to tank Akali's burst. When hitting E, a violet circle appears showing the radius of the spell. With some practice, you will get used to Crescent Slash radius and you will not even look at this effect anymore. Akali's ultimate ability is called Shadow Dance and is probably what makes Akali so fun to play and so annoying to play against. Akali uses one essence of Shadow to jump behind the target, dealing magic damage. Akali can have a maximum of 3 charges stored. Akali gains these Essence of Shadow charges periodically or on kills and assists. This skill does magic damage and scales with ability powers. There are a few things to mention about this ultimate. Firstly, the range of the jump stays the same at all levels. Secondly, there is a 2-second cooldown on level 6 between each jump, which means that you can't rush your 3 charges at once. And thirdly, Akali jumps behind the target and not in front of it. This is worth mentioning because it helps you dodge almost every skill shot if well timed, but of course some easier than others. When playing Akali as a high burst mid champion, you must max your Q first, then your E, followed by your W, and of course you have to upgrade your R at level 6, 11 and 16. As runes, I like this page because it balances sustain and damage, mainly early on since Akali is the strongest from level 6 on. Here is one of the best examples, if not the best examples for masteries on Akali. You can make some changes, but make sure to get Thunderlord's Decree, the last cunning talent. I don't think there is one way to build a champion. You should always know how to adapt to a team compo. For example, you may have to rush a Zonia if you are laning with a Zed to counter his ultimate, or rush a Void Staff if you are facing a Galio to counter his passive that gives him enormous amount of magic resist. Anyways, I will make a guide soon explaining how to build and how to adapt your build in general. But for the time being, here are 2 examples of builds for Akali. Now let's move on to some tips when playing Akali. Akali's best combo is to start with Q, then jump on the target with R, place your W, then auto attack to trigger your Q, and then E. Afterwards you want to stay still for a few seconds in your W to wait for your cooldowns to come back, and then do the same thing all over again. However, this is the optimal combo for Akali. It doesn't mean it is the best one for each situation. Do not go in first, you are squishy and definitely not a frontliner, although you have a stealth possibility. Always prioritize squishy targets, they will generate charges of your ult, helping you snowball. Think before placing your E, because once you did, you can't undo it. And it's your primary source of defense, because believe me, you are gonna be the prime target. Do not reveal yourself in your E just for an auto attack, only for higher damage with skills. Use your R to jump on minions or jungle camps to dodge skills or run away or even to catch someone. Take your time when you are invisible to reposition yourself and have a look at the situation around you. Am I going to die after killing this champion? Is it worth it? Ask yourself these 2 questions in teamfights. Engaging and disengaging is easy with Akali. Do it to reposition yourself and to avoid being a frontline. Finally, always keep in mind that not anyone can chase as fast as you. You may find yourself too ahead of your team facing 2 or more unpredicted opponents. Believe me, this is a common mistake when playing Akali. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed this guide, feel free to like, share and subscribe for more content. You were with Yoka from Bro League. See you guys around.